Hello, everybody. Welcome to the very, very first Back to Warcraft ZeroSpace tournament cast. ZeroSpace is a new RTS that's a little bit in the shadow of Stormgate, but it's making quite some waves. It is pretty nice to see how many people are playing this game, how many people like this game. Quarterfinal number 3, it is Legion versus Grell once again. At the Grell position, bottom right-hand side, we see someone who dipped into Warcraft 3 a little bit. Usually Age of Empires player is B. And his opponent is playing the Legion with a lot of heroes. He is known from Heroes of the Storm, and it's Fan.
Interesting. So that's a really early harvester from the Legion player, like incredibly early. I think he went harvester into Rax this time.
So that is not normal because usually Legion is more reliant on Hexside and to build these mass thralls.
Yeah, normally, or a lot of times, we would see a build that's something like Supply Depot, your equivalent of a farm, into 1 or 2 racks to early map control. He's gone super aggressive on the harvesters here. So this is a really interesting one. I'm smelling a Terror Tank, Neo.
Ooh, oh yeah. Need the debut of the Terror Tank. It's time.
Yeah, I think the viewers need to see a Terror Tank.
It is certainly an impactful unit, that's for sure. So usually, where does the matchup stand in Legion versus Grell?
This one feels a little more balanced. I've played a number of games of this against FaiLo. And this comes down to a lot of early pressure on both sides, generally speaking, right? If it was going to be quote unquote meta. But it feels like this build's very different from Fan here. Feels like he's gonna be going for the route of teching and trying to XP deny here. So as you can see, he's just roaming around with a hero. Doesn't have anything else. So he's playing the game of stopping the opponent from dominating the map. Which might work out quite well because B's gone for an expansion here. So B's on 2 base.
I mean, Fan is a mobile player after all, so very, very fitting. This Legion hero seems to be the standard at the moment, the guy with the axe.
The guy with the axe and the guy with the fireball, yeah. I think all of the heroes are quite doable with Legion. It's interesting, I guess, and I guess it depends whether you go for the option of multiple heroes or whether you're going for one hero as to which you pick first. Normally, the melee hero, I think, Temptress or Inquisitress, is the normal picked if you're going to play one hero. So it'd be interesting to see what he does with this.
All right, we see a different unit for the Legion guy that we haven't seen before. Big dude with the chainsaw hand.
Yeah, they have 2 versions of the Thrall. FaiLo saying melee hero is bad. So there's two versions of the Thrall. There's a melee version and there's a ranged version. So the big chainsaw hands guy, obviously more HP, more armor, less DPS, but tanky. So a blend of them is normally the way to go.
Okay, looking good. And I don't know if we should listen too much to FaiLo. He said Grell is OP, and then the next game they lose 2-0. So what does he know?
Yeah, what does he know? He hopefully he'll join us here soon, and he can impart some of his Legion knowledge on both of us. He's played, I want to say, a lot more than anybody else. Probably 100 games, maybe more.
I think he made top 60 in the ladder race or something.
He was a lot higher than that at one point. Before, obviously, unfortunately, his new job claimed him.
No excuses, man. He just didn't respect the grind anymore.
Yeah, he's too busy trying to get his rank 1 on the 2v2 RT ladder this season. Prioritize that.
That's just 5 games, isn't it?
If you look, it's actually hundreds. If you go and look who's playing this season, it's quite interesting.
Oh, damn. Okay. Didn't know.
So I had to recall then the Legion player. He was about to get completely wiped by the sheer mass of Grell units that we've got coming out here. And I'm really hoping, Neo, that we're going to have a Terror tank at some point in the very near future.
So far, it's a little bit of back and forth. Of course, the Grell player, lots of melee, no real catch outside the hero just yet, at least. But he's protecting the 2 towers and getting a lot of XP now.
And the Legion player here has bought one of the mercenaries, and the tank thing that you see rolling across is a flamethrower, which is absolutely awesome against the small, low HP Grell units. But I would be really surprised if B gives him a fight here.
Yeah,
I think he's just going to deny and play the economy game. And if you notice this game, he's done a great job of look at the grass spread at the bottom of the map.
That's a lot. Okay,
he's even, you see the Grell harvesters. Obviously, one thing we didn't mention here, they obviously take grass with them.
Obviously,
can't be without grass when you're a crab harvester. It's important.
Oh, shot through the hill here. Well done, but still no real chance.
Some of the terrain is destructible, right? Not on this map, but a lot of the cliffs are destructible to open up new paths for harass or escape, whatever.
Yeah, it's also very easily visible what's destructible and what not. The one map with the XP tower in the middle, there's two big patches. You look at it and you see, okay, that is something that I can destroy.
100%. I think one thing that I think they've done very nicely is the readability of everything.
Yeah. It also helps, of course, that the armies aren't that big, as in, for example, StarCraft. They're a little bigger than in Warcraft, as you see, but that does help indeed.
Or like some of the fights that we saw in Stormgate when you're pushing close to 300 pop and it just
that was also a low quality stream, I think, but yeah, that was tricky when it's too infernal suit. Oh my god!
But it doesn't feel like that when you're playing it, which is super weird. So there is definitely something stream related in that for sure.
Yeah.
I think this is a really good fight and a really good split from B to set this up. The pulverize on those big mercenaries, you see the damage in the AoE that's occurring at the back.
It is pretty sick, man. Nice flank from the left-hand side. It is actually pulverized, man. It's almost the same animation when they do it.
It is.
Boom, baby.
Tauren. There you go. Remo will be happy.
They look like a villain from like Dragon Ball or something as well. I like it.
So he actually traded out pretty good there, that said. But the Grell player lost the low HP units and all of the big value units have survived. So I think it was a better trade for Grell there.
Legion player has more flux income though, so where's the Terror tank finally?
Yeah, he's making us wait, isn't he? Teasing us.
Take some time, I guess. I don't know how much time he still has left.
A Terror tank with a few flamers would be absolutely hilarious into this.
Also takes a lot of time. Can he buy that time? I'm not too sure. The Grell player, lot more mineral income, hexalite income. It's a Tauren Naruto. Yeah, that's good, Ark. Yo, and he's getting caught once again. And this is not looking good at all. I don't know if he can afford a recall.
I like FaiLo just said in the chat, it is three base, 1 base, and I assumed when you play that style, you're going for Terror tank or the like. I mean, those 2 harvesters are recalled, but you only got 1 of them. And I don't see a Terror tank anywhere near. I think he's just dunsies here again.
Yeah.
Double the supply, massively down on income.
When I look at the production, it's only more of the same small units from like 3 racks, 4 racks, whatever it is.
And mercs.
So no big change coming.
So the hovercraft are going to do some damage here. They're really good into the mercs, but there's just not enough here. The supply difference is just...
They also look fairly fragile. Oh, and they're gone.
Yeah. It's a nice fireball, but well avoided by B. Some good control there, and he's just steamrolling this. He's on the good time train to a victory here, Neo, I think.
Sends in some reinforcements to block, similar to what Moon does against Undead, where you just cover the retreat, and now when the hero fall, yep, that's over, and B takes
and GG. I think the interesting point here is that the pathing is also very similar to what we would be used to. Like blocks and surrounds are possible.
Yeah. I love that B is playing the flower race, by the way. It's so fitting.
Could he play anything else?
I don't know. No, it should be forbidden.
Yeah. One of the interesting things for players is that I think the plan is that everything will be customizable. So you'll be able to control where your resource bars are, where your minimap is, all of your controls, everything, which I think is quite an interesting, nice touch.
It is so far advanced already. Like when you look at the options in the menu, it's insane, dude. It's like a character creation.
Yeah, I got lost in there.
In Baldur's Gate, dude. It takes an hour to set it up. It's not as advanced from a simple side of things with a command card in Stormgate. I think that's still the best way to start production and build units, etc. But customizability is top notch.
And, I think that's a really nice quality of life thing.
There was one feature. I forgot what it was. I think it's like you can draw command queues on the map. So you don't have to like hold shift and right click, but basically quick fire queues for the units. Yep. There's lots of quality of life stuff that they've kind of added into the game that feels like RTS should have had for a while. Yeah. And I know that you had some feedback for some of the Stormgate features that you really like. It's nice to see the genre advancing with little things which I think make a massive difference certainly to competitive play. Yeah, I feel like Age of Empires 4 actually did a lot in how the menu is built. Yep. And then now people take the next step, which is really good to see. It's such a chore. Like the thing alone that we don't have automated control groups, for example, and you have to select every unit and put it in a group. Like, really? It feels a bit annoying to play Warcraft after you play the new RTS generation. Yes. And look, I mean, I think the fact that Warcraft's in the state it's in is a miracle after 20 years, right? Oh, yeah. And obviously, W3 Champions have brought that forward massively with Zoom and other features, but imagine if you could take the base concept for that game and remake it with today's kind of standards and abilities. I think you would get something truly incredible. All right, map number 2, B with the 1-0. Let's see if the Legion can strike back. Let's see if he tries to play what I would consider a slightly more traditional Legion game this time. Don't know if is he building a Harvester? Was that a Harvester? Yeah, he's got a Harvester again. But according to something FaiLo said before, is that apparently this is now what people do. I think 2 Harvesters before Rax is just incredibly greedy. And that's what he's done. So this is the same build that he went for last game. All right, we got the little skill check between the heroes. As we mentioned, this game, is there a clock somewhere? Yeah, it's like 1 minute in the game, and there's already action. Where in Warcraft, you need 2 minutes to like build the altar, and then it takes quite a while to get out on the map. Like this is so cool, man, because the first 2 minutes in Warcraft, nothing is happening. And this, I think this is they've really done a really good job of incentivizing that, and it also makes the game fun from the very beginning, right? Yeah. Like and it matters. They've made it consequential, the early skirmishes, without being game breaking. Yeah. I don't know if you noticed while they were skirmishing, the Grell hero has this annoying ability. You see the small flying thing? Yeah. It can just consume that for full HP, which I'm sure you're gonna
Yeah.
There you go.
There we go. And he's going to get a Rax with just a hero. This is incredibly bad for the Legion player, and this is a byproduct of going 2 harvesters before any unit production. He's just going to get, torn apart here, and he has to spend energy on a recall. He's now obviously paid resources for those harvesters, and they're not even mining. This is looking dire again, Neo.
Oh boy, I thought I would be here until like 3 a.m., but looks like the games are relatively quick. For B, I don't think that's anything out of the ordinary, just hero pressure into expansion into tier 1 units so far.
Again, he did a good job of seeing what the Legion player was doing, and he's just punishing him for it.
Yeah.
Obviously, if he would have been unchecked into 2 harvesters and late tier units and mercs very fast, he would have been in big trouble. So he's done a very good job of effectively, he's camping in his base because he can't leave.
All right, a little bit of healing, charging up, creating a bigger army, and then off we go. Any chance for recovery here? We see mercs again, right? The hovercraft thingies.
We do early mercs this time, which I guess was the strategy. So right now he's in a really good spot if he was to take a fight. But I think the problem he has is the speed of the Grell units. He can just deny him a fight. And if he pushes into the Grell base, he obviously has to deal with static defense and everything else. So whilst those units are probably great and he will struggle to push him off that XP tower, he's unable really to do any damage to the Grell player.
Okay, another skirmish. Is there a high ground advantage in this game? Because there definitely
is
cliffs.
Yep, there is. I think it works on increased damage.
Oh, wow. Okay, so there's not a mischance?
No, or at least not one that's visible.
Okay.
I'd need to ask. But
FaiLo will be in chat in like a minute or so. Tell us.
the backseater.
Oh, yeah, of course. So these mercenaries, they become available at like the 3-minute mark or something. Is it a must to get them?
Again, very strategically variable, right? So the fact that he got that much flux, the second resource early, enabled him to get those mercs. But at this point, the Grell is, look at the income at the bottom, right? The Grell's in such a good position in terms of the Hexite that he can just trade out units and, not care about it. But this is going to be an interesting point in the game because I feel like now he can actually potentially do some damage to production, which is going to be the one thing that will get him back into this game.
But we got the Naruto Tauren, and they might just be able to...
Yes, they say no.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. FaiLo, GG. As soon as he saw that.
Yeah, of course. A classic gamer thing to call games early.
So, in response to the comment about neutral units, the neutral units are from one faction, which are called the Dread Raiders, that you see on the Legion side, that are just standard human mechanical stuff. A lot of the other mercs are a lot less generic than that. There's a whole race of crabs, which we saw earlier.
Yes, of course. If you have a faction based on plants, you need a faction based on crabs.
Yeah, I mean, who are you going to ally with? Plants? You need crabs, right? And we can see that the Tauren doing a ridiculous amount of damage to this army.
Yeah, they're insane.
And stopping the trades. But, I mean, he's done about as good as I think he could have done. But again, this is all very temporary. If we look at the income, although it's balanced out a bit, the production's unaffected.
I was about to say, like, the next wave of production might push this back. At the moment, though...
Yeah, I just don't think he's got enough to damage buildings because all the mercs are dead, and that's all he focused on. So these things kind of tickle buildings, and that main will absolutely destroy them. Grell's about to get his hero back, and he's got another round of mercs at the back, so he's just happy to sit there and wait at this point.
Yeah, what's this thing that turns units blue? Is that some sort of regeneration?
Yes, it is.
Well, that's helpful.
It comes from the supply depot. So when you're stood next to them, you kind of regenerate. So all the supply depots do different things. For the Legion, it regenerates mana for the heroes or power, energy. For the Protectorate, it heals stuff. And for the Grell, it does this, turns things blue.
Alrighty.
So both heroes are now back. He's done a decent job or had done a decent job of balancing it out 2 base to 2 base, but the Grell's now on 3 base and his Hexite's through the roof.
We do have the fire tanks again, though, so that supply might melt if he's not taking them out quickly.
Without obsing, it's difficult to see, but I imagine somewhere behind this, he's got some of the later game tech at least being produced, like the Reavers, and I think a couple of those will work wonders here.
There's a green super ant kind of thing that throws stuff. What's that?
Oh, you mean the siege unit? Yeah.
The left-hand side, I don't know.
Have you ever seen Starship Troopers?
Yes, I do.
It's kind of like, I wonder where they got that unit choice from. Yeah, that's what it reminds me of. It kind of throws balls of plasma, so it's a siege unit, and one of its upgrades, you can siege it like a siege tank in StarCraft, and they do incredible damage. They're very easy to snipe, but protected, they do crazy, ridiculous damage.
Okay. The Green Power Rangers are throwing green things. I like it. I feel
like the Legion player has done a very good job, Neo, of getting this back to some semblance of balanced, and he's now even the economy out as well.
Yep. Oh, there's some fire at the tree. That hurts. That gets rid of some economy.
And if there's one thing plants hate, Neo, it's fire.
Absolutely. And if you pee on them too much.
Yeah. Be a bit weird for them to put that in the game, though, wouldn't it?
You never know.
Maybe we should suggest that to Kat. We've got some feedback for you.
Yeah, we got a feedback loop. We need pee in the game. That is absolutely.
We want to pee on the Grell, please. So you see his ability to like phase it. It's kind of like banish. The blue effect that you were talking about.
Yeah.
So that's the upgrade building down, and this is now looking really grim for the Grell player. He's down on economy, and amazingly, Fan has kind of pulled this back to a winning position, it looks like.
Yeah, he kind of captured him here, put him into quarantine, and expanded on the back of things.
And you see the advanced supply depot that he's got there
at the bottom left.
Proxy, yeah. So that's there so that his hero can go next to it and regenerate his power.
Okay.
Which is a really nice touch.
It's like a little bit of a moonwell, but not for HP.
Yep, our Night Elf players will be very familiar with that.
You're a Night Elf player yourself. Or did you switch again? Part-time. So when it's easy, or is the balance in the state that you don't like it anymore?
We're playing a bit of both.
I see. Orc all of a sudden is performing better. Dark switches back to the Horde. Got no identity to back.
I honestly don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's a horrible accusation.
Yeah. Okay.
So this game feels in a bit of a weird position in that I think now Legion has the advantage, but is unable at this point to push in and do anything.
I feel like he was banging his head against the wall on the right-hand side, now looking for a better angle, and B has to react. That might open up things on the right-hand side again. It's a bit of a tough decision where to defend now, because there's towers everywhere, and the Legion player seems to be pretty safe in a lot of spots.
Yeah.
Nice army mix.
Is there some mercs that dropped in battle from heaven? You can't drop things right into fights, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You can only summon them at the merc pool, which is next to your main base.
Also for the human faction, if you have your reinforcements, you have to plant them next to controlled building.
There are global abilities though, right? So like airstrike being a good example that you can use anywhere.
The, what's it called? Weapon X as well. The infernal thing. Ooh, sick pickup here. 2 harvesters down.
Yeah, and if there's one thing he's doing a great job of right now, it's minimizing the flux income by splitting off units. It's really smart. And I feel like something that he needs to do, because mobility is his friend right now. If you look at the speed difference between the two armies at the moment, it's pretty stark.
So I assume if you have too little flux, you can't go for more flame tanks? And
correct. Most of the higher powered mercs, or all mercs cost some flux, but most of the higher powered ones are relatively expensive when it comes to flux, yeah. Ooh. Or big pick off.
More reinforcements being caught. Nicely shutting the door there. Not too many kills, but of course a lot of free hits.
So, and B's done, if you look at the economy tab, Neo, B's done a good job of getting some expansions up behind all of this.
Killed the hero as well.
Yeah, and doing a good job of disengaging, right? There's no need for him to fight here.
No recall necessary. Now home turf advantage again.
Yeah, with a tower, right? Looking good for him again.
This is what I mentioned. I don't know if you were on there, but you have a lot of tug of war in these games, a lot of back and forth. That was also my game today against the computer. Just constant brawling. Like, when was the one downtime in this game? There just was none.
No, and I think that's one of the things that I like the most about it. If you're passive, you're probably doing something wrong. There's always something to do.
Yep.
And I think he's setting up a split either to flank or to go for one of the expansions here.
Oh, he's trying to. Little backstab. Gathering forces.
Grell's hero's ability is so nice in a choke. Slowing everything and doing damage over time.
Yeah.
Plantos is one of my favorite comments from
Plantos. I don't know, but it feels rather Zergy.
Yeah.
I mean, with all these,
and the grass mechanic and
the grass mechanic,
you know.
But it's kind of cool that they flipped the grass mechanic on its head, basically, because, like, what's it called? Blight was always the bad thing. It infests the land, and same for the Zerg.
Now it's a good thing. Yeah,
exactly. Now it's a good thing. I like it.
Harvester's under attack here. There's one going down, maybe a second. Nope, decided not to commit because there's a counter attack going towards his main. One important thing to mention here is obviously the destruction of your main is a win condition.
Yeah, it's like in Dota or any other MOBA, when your throne is falling, then it's over.
Yeah, and obviously the lames are not really possible to an extent because of recall.
True.
So it's really difficult to do that. To kill someone's main, you have to try really hard.
Ooh, the flame tanks are getting caught. That's number 2 already.
Yeah, this just looks like Legion has to get out of here, because once those mercs go down, he's in big trouble.
Or the next slow acid bomb kind of thing.
Yeah,
Heroes
he's in
falling.
a corner, isn't he? The tanks are doing God's work here, though, Neil. There's a lot of damage. The Grell hero goes down. Both heroes go down.
Ooh, and the next
chaotic.
Tank, absolutely. Next tank is also gone. Supply-wise, still neck and neck. Like, this entire throwable mini plant army is gone as well. Flame tank
and a bit of multitasking here down to the harvesters at the bottom.
I wouldn't be able to call this game just yet. Oh, a little web.
Yep.
Where's that coming from?
This is very close. It's one of the upgrades that he's got on the see the crab thing at the back. I forget what it's called. But that's one of the mercs from the faction, one of the higher tier ones. It's got the ability to net things in place effectively.
Nice little end snare, love it. And once again, our Naruto Tauren. Oh boy, need to recall.
Oh,
ouch!
So one of the things to mention about mercs is it works on a charges basis. So you can't just spam mercs. You have a maximum of 3 charges at any given time, which repopulate over time.
Yeah, it is very similar to a merc camp in Warcraft 3.
Correct. Yeah.
Nice little heals once again. I'm a huge fan of this range unit in the back, the ninja, and
they heal
Ranger thing
as well.
Cool unit.
So that they are once you have the stronger units on board, the value you get out of those is crazy. And again, now it looks like Legion, after a really crazy back and forth, is in an awful position.
What the hell is this grass on the ground?
So this is a Grell ability that stuns everything. See, the buildings can't produce.
Yeah.
It's a global that comes from one of the top bar choices.
Sweet.
And all the production is now taken a beating. So he's actually focusing, even over the fight, he's focusing on production here, which I think is probably smart.
Took out 2 buildings, but is losing a lot.
But from an economy standpoint, he's far, far ahead.
Oh, yeah. Got an extra base. Flux is the same, so harvest
income is different, though. Oh, now it's balanced. Sorry. One more harvester pops out.
Getting caught once again. This flame tower is so good to have, and he saves it. Jesus. But the harvester's up for grabs now.
So I'm really curious, Neo. What was your evolution of experience? Because I know it started off as, I think it's fair to say, a little negative.
Yeah, I saw the video and I hated the style. I hated it. I hated the style. I hated a lot of animations. It looked kind of cheap to me. But then I played and it got better. And then I played later and I was extremely frustrated because I ran into people like Vortex. And as you can imagine, that was painful. And I couldn't get a foot on the ground. But over the last week, I played a lot more and I had more fun. And then I watched the tournament yesterday and that was good, especially
I think from an esports perspective, it's definitely got potential for sure. Which I guess you would expect from a bunch of people that grew up in esports, right? Yep. These feel like really painful blows. These harvesters going down, he just can't get out of his base to mine any flux at this point.
Yeah, he needs the flamethrower, guys. Otherwise, B is just going to establish... I need to learn the names, but these tiny little things.
The units.
Yeah.
The stingers.
Yeah. The little Grell things.
Yeah, stingers.
Stingers, all right. That is fitting. They don't do that much damage. Okay.
No, they don't. They're just super annoying and there's lots of them.
All right, he catches another fire tank and maybe another. So much crowd control.
Yeah, and there's just so much higher tech units at this point for the Grell player.
And the infused...
That fireball's going to do a lot of damage, but we must be close to tier 5 here. I was really hoping to see a Tree of Life, but I think it's going to be over before we do.
We might just have the GG here as the heroes fall again. This is now B dominating with another push towards the second base. And he's going to take him out. Less income. Production has fallen before.
Yeah, this is the death blow. Focusing straight on the main here to get the mine down, and there we go.
And B goes through with another 2-0 here. Third quarterfinal done. That means we're halfway through as well. But that was a really cool game.